everyone. My name is Olivia Savage and I am a digital media, marketing, and project manager here at Newswire. I'm here today to talk to you about marketing and the fact that press releases can actually serve you in your marketing and media strategy in ways you might not have thought of before. Not only are press releases an affordable and effective way to get messages out to your consumers and your target audiences, but press releases offer valuable insight and data that you might not gather from other platforms such as social media. And one of the biggest benefits of press release distribution is that it can be very affordable and cost effective. How affordable is it? How easy is it to use? What are some tips and tricks to help you not only be successful, but also measure that success? Here today to talk to me about this and more is my colleague Maria Marhevka. Welcome back, Maria. How are you?
Hi Olivia, thanks for having me. It's good to be back. I'm doing great, and in today's discussion we're going to talk about press releases and how to really kind of meld that into your marketing strategy. I think the biggest thing that we really want to hit on is that you can really increase the value of your marketing spend through press release distribution. And in this day and age, in the economic climate that we're living in, justifiably so, businesses are focused on a lot of mission critical tasks. That's anything from ensuring that they're going to hit payroll to making sure that the doors stay open and the lights stay on. But in those nuances of the daily grind of owning a business, sometimes other important initiatives get overlooked. Newswire's comprehensive press release distribution services offers an easy and affordable way for companies to share impactful news. So with that being said, I'm super excited to kind of dig into this topic.
Okay, so let's start with talking about how press releases are cost effective. Can you talk to me about maximizing your marketing spend when it comes to press release distribution?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest advantages of press release distribution is the affordability. And at Newswire, we pair the affordability with volume, so you get the best of both worlds. And what that means is we will offer volume pricing, which gives you, the business owner, a unique opportunity to share several announcements over a certain period of time. And whenever we do that, we test multiple announcements to give your business the ability to identify which audiences are engaging with your news, testing which headlines are working the best and are most effective in driving those business results that you're really wanting to accomplish. And last but not least, another added benefit is that you're able to improve your rank in search with good content and keyword research. Now, it's important to note that some advertising and public relations campaigns can be costly. Some agencies charge as much as tens of thousands of dollars per month on those campaigns. But with the strategic use of wire distribution paired with a smart approach, you can yield the same benefits, if not better, for a fraction of the cost.
Wow, that's really fascinating. I hadn't really thought about press releases specifically in terms of marketing spend and how expensive it can be, and then also how much you can save if you utilize certain tools effectively. Okay, so now let's talk about data. How can companies utilize data to drive their media marketing strategy?
Data is a very important component of any marketing strategy, and for press releases in particular, they behave similarly to advertising campaigns in that they require data and the analysis of that data to be effective. Now, when it comes to press release distribution, like we said before, a benefit is you're able to collect data to kind of show you the way in future campaigns. You want to really focus on the times of the day that your target audience is the most active. You want to understand what type of content they're responding to best. Where are they from? So what's the geographic location? What's the demographic that makes up your audience? And in today's day and age, another thing that you really want to focus on is social media shares. So really at its core, data is changing the way that business is conducted at every single stage of the process. You know, from the ideation to the moment that sale is closed, there are an infinite number of data points in between that can and should be evaluated and tweaked to maximize your business's potential.
Absolutely. And I think it's easy for folks to think about data and just be like, numbers on a screen. But actually what you're doing when we're talking about data is obtaining information that isn't really available pre-digital era. This is concrete information that is available about who is looking at your stuff and who they are and where they're from and what they might be interested in. And that's really invaluable when it comes to insight into not only who you are reaching, but who you want to reach.
Absolutely. And whenever it comes to data, there is so much of it. And Peter Drucker once said, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. So whenever it comes to data, it's not all created equal, because you need to kind of match the data with the goals that you're trying to accomplish. And one way of doing that is at the beginning of your campaigns is you really want to focus on identifying key performance indicators, or KPIs for short. Now, your organization might already be collecting information on your KPIs, but if they're not, some to consider are, unique website visits, sales in a given year, downloads in a given day, growth in revenue, email open rates. All of these KPIs give you a little bit more information and insight to kind of steer your ship in the right direction to focus on really knocking it out of the park and reaching your marketing goals.
So we talked about affordability, we talked about data, and we talked about what to look for in data. Now, let's talk about if somebody is watching this and they're wanting to distribute a press release. How can they ensure that they maximize the efficacy and the reach of whatever they write and then publish?
Absolutely. Whenever it comes to press release creation and distribution, it really lies in the careful targeting and timing of your press release. If you're in the position that you're ready to put a press release out there, let's ask a few questions to make sure that we're kind of ticking off all of the items that are going to make this press release the best that it can be. So the first thing you really want to consider is who's the target audience of this announcement. And if you're, reading through the content that you've written or you're about to write the press release, really focus on who they are and what they're interested in. That's really going to help you understand what direction and what angle you need to take with your announcement. Now, when it comes to press releases, you want to be writing not only for the user, but you also want to write for Google as well, because there's a lot of SEO value that you can create for your business through press release distribution. Another thing that you want to focus on is why should businesses or people even care about this announcement? Like we said before, that newsworthy angle is really going to make or break your press release. Finally, you need to identify through the data that you've collected when's the best time to push this press release live. That kind of information is really going to help you maximize the mileage you'll get from your press release.
That's a good point. I don't think a lot of people necessarily are aware that when it comes to press release distribution or any sort of marketing initiatives, timing really does matter, and it can really impact the deliverability and the efficacy of whatever you publish. So be sure to front load in the week, avoid weekends. What am I missing?
I would also say try and steer clear of Friday releases. That's typically a day when people are kind of winding down from their week and they're not really in that business mindset like they are midweek. But I think with all of these kind of best practices, you really want to make sure that they're, you'll keep those in mind, but then you also kind of have to look back and look at your data to see, when the right time is to kind of push these releases, because, they always say, just because it's best practice doesn't necessarily mean it's best practice for your business. So use them as a guide, but definitely take a look at your data to make sure that you're, distributing your press releases on the right day and time to maximize your press release.
Now, some people here, I know before I started with Newswire, I might have been a little overwhelmed with all of this information. So I just wanted to reiterate that Newswire does actually offer a full service program called our Earned Media Advantage Guided Tour. And in that program, businesses can utilize and leverage Newswire's press release distribution and a variety of other advisory services to enable businesses to focus on what they do best and to actually outsource to the experts things like press release writing and distribution and SEO optimization and all of those things. One of the benefits of the Earned Media Advantage Guided Tour program is that it's actually pretty affordable, especially when you compare it to something like an agency or hiring somebody in-house. Where can people go to find out more information about the guided tour and how to distribute press releases if they want to on their own?
So the best place to go and to start is our website. So that's www.newswire.com. You can also check us out on social media, LinkedIn and Facebook, as well as Twitter. Those are really great starting off points to get an idea about what we have to offer and to see the successes that we're creating for our clients.
If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit like down below, share with your network, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Newswire educational content. To learn more about Newswire's offerings, how to partner with us, and to explore our flagship Earned Media Advantage guided tour program, please be sure to visit newswire.com. At our website, you can also view our entire library of educational materials, including our Smart Start guides, white papers, case studies, and other relevant content that can help you reach your media, marketing, and press release distribution goals. Check it out.